So hello people. I've always wanted to do this kind of weekly show or whatever, kind of day 9-esque, where I would go through various plays and various stuff, in game with professional players, of newbies and whatnot. And you know what? I'm gonna start it right now. I'm gonna do it. So I just spent like 30 minutes trying to set up my entire setup here and actually made it work. And even had a notepad of what keys to press to change the cameras. So if I press this, you're going to be able to see me, right? And I think I have to look at my keyboard and press this, you can see the game and everything. So everyone who heard about Day 9, you probably know what he did. He made like 700 to 800 episodes of StarCraft dailies. He would go through, everything from pro players, to newbies. He'd explain stuff. He'd go through in depth to timing attacks, And I talked about this to someone, a friend of mine. He said it's probably not possible to CS because it's not as complex. But I actually think this game is as complex as StarCraft, So I wanted to use the stuff I know about StarCraft to go through the various things that people think will be important and cool to know. So I'm simply going to open up a demo from ESL 1 Cologne between Envious and Fnatic on Dust 2. Now this game is very close, and I wanted to just go to pick one of the players and kind of just inspect what he does as an individual, right? So, why does he do this stuff? Explain it through, how does he react to his teammates? What have they probably called? And all this details, basically, And in my opinion, as I'm said, I think that is as complex as StarCraft 2. It doesn't have the same concept, doesn't have the same everything. But there's a lot of other factors in the game that StarCraft doesn't have, and one of them is probably team play. So I'm gonna first find Flusha. So I want to follow Flusha. The reason for this is he plays pretty similar positions to me. He's played very good this game. And I think in general he's always a good player, and he does very simple stuff. He doesn't do crazy stuff like JW does. And he's generally an all-around good player. It's him, or to be honest, probably Olofmeister, the people on Fnatic that I find the most consistent players. So, of course, that crosshair is a joke. I had a lot of comments on my previous videos about that, so it's not really my crosshair. So I just realized, my settings on the keybinds on the scenes are the same as I would type in game. They need to change those. So I'm typing up something here right now, for instance CL cross here, size, and shit happens because it's E is the picture. But I'll set it down from 80 to I don't know, I would usually have 3. It's probably too small to be honest. I'll set it in 4. And CL cross here, gap to -2 as I usually have it. There we go. I think you can see that. So I'll just stay away from the keyboard for most of the game. So I'm gonna start off with of course I just skip past the beginning. He buys armor. He's playing B, and he just jumps across the mid gap and just to see what they're doing. He does spot one guy there, just spawning down mid. Doesn't really say or tell anything. It just means it's not a 5-man rush, because it could be a 4-man rush, I guess, but it's probably not. So let's just get into this game. So what he's doing instantly right now, he's used P versus Glock, and he knows that. He also has armor. He tries to get on here and get the long-range peek onto the guy's B. And if you do pop out, which you can see in the radar right now, they're all in tunnels, scatter up and waiting for the push. So I'm going to pause right now. He's going to stay here and just spot it. The moment he sees someone, he's probably going to shoot 1 or 2 shots and just crouch and just do everything he can to stay alive, just be a nuisance, right? His teammates has pushed up mid. So they see no one mid. So the team probably has an indication that they're actually probably in tunnels, because there's nothing mid, so they're not short. They haven't spotted or heard anything long yet, so they're probably not long. They could be walking out or just delaying T-spawn, but there's a big chance they're in tunnels. So based on this intel, he actually probably has a pretty good idea that. And the moment you see this smoke, he just shoots as lucky, but his entire team is rotating right to B right now. So now he's just shooting randomly, hoping for shots. And the moment they're all out of smoke, look how he does right now. He's just going to crouch and just do everything he can to stay alive. And let his teammates do more of the work rather, because everyone is focused on him. He can't hit any shots right now. He doesn't kill that guy, and ends up running out of bullets. And NBK just baits the fuck out of him and kills him. stomped, mate. So, even though they lost that round, it's very simple play for Flusha. He does very expecting stuff like you just hold that speak long range, use P versus Glock. It's really hard for a Glock to kill you behind there, especially compared to use P. You just aim for head and shoot. It's harder with a Glock. It's not as accurate. But the moment they spot him and they know he's there, you just have to stay alive. Because if he dies there, it's so important. Because if he dies, they can all just turn around and look at the doors and the window. It's just one angle. You just turn your back to everything else. But as long as he's there, you have to keep that in mind. There's a one guy plat still. And there's people door and window. So you have like a triangle of doom, you know? Like a triangle of people shooting at you. So you can't take cover from all three. It's pretty much impossible. You take cover from one or two, but not three. Of course, he doesn't hit any shots. I think he's unlucky. He did get one frag, which, to be honest, is okay. It's what he has to do. His team just didn't show up. And sometimes that happens. But I feel like he should have gotten one more frag with the position and thing. He could probably hit one or two more people there. So now he's going to scout. They're going to force buy right now. Now, Fnatic's point with the force buy right now is probably just to be aggressive, get intel, and try to play on what they think is going to happen. So you see right now on the radar, they're actually forward towards B. So they're taking the chances mid or B, and there's only one guy long and there's no one short. Because right now, if they explode out long and kill out one guy, I mean, they're taking a chance, right? It's standard team play, like you're gambling. You know they're ahead. And if you play like standard, in most cases they're going to win the rounds. You take a chance, because, you know, we go from being like 30-70 in their favor to gambling, you know. So it's more like 50-50, because if they go B right now, you're going to kill them. Or mid, you're going to kill them. If they go A, you know, you're going to lose the round. But it's more 50-50 instead of 70-30. So, Flush is just using the scout here, just moving around. He's not really doing anything particular, special here. And Envious is playing really, really defensive. Now, they are pushing out mid, and they get 2 frags. And this is something I actually think is amazing for Fnatic. They're right 3 on 5. They're 4 spot. And I don't know, this is probably bad play from Envious as well. They spot the scout on B. And they're kind of just clutter around, not really pushing anywhere on Envious. Now, you do see the smoke, and this is really gonna mess them up on B here. There's just smoke, they're expecting this, and this is also a key point what happens here for Flusha, what he realizes is, they see the smoke, there's a flash, there's nothing else. There's no steps, there's no sounds, and JW kills a guy long. So right now they realize, okay, it's a fake B. So they're gonna be A, most likely. Probably heard him short as well. And because there's a smoke and a flash, they know there's a guy tunnels. Like, there's no doubt there's a guy tunnels. So they're afraid of mid right now, maybe lower. And it's just a sick shot there on Apex, I guess. I don't like what Apex was doing there. I think it's a mistake. You shouldn't just play more passive, because they're 3v3. They have the weapons, they have the bomb down. They 4 spot. There's no reason to challenge there. Now, he did get a really, really lucky shot. No scout with a scout in that position. But it ends up being a 2v2 right now. And they're just going to realize they can't win this. Just going to go for the saves. And of course, Crim's place is a good player as well. Probably expected him at this point, almost. He has 2 frags, but I don't see what Flusha does. He just holds the short angle, he sees no one there, that runs too long, and Crims gets both their frags, and he can't really do much. So they're just going for the exit frags here. And why this is so important, exit frags right now, is look at money on Envious. I'm going to pause it right after the round ends. Look at their money. This 4-8 on Kenny S. He's pretty rich. You can afford an op, I guess, but probably full acre armor. Everyone knows like 3-6, 3-9, 4-4-6. You have 2 people with money. And there's 3 people who's really low on money. So either they're gonna buy, of course, but they're gonna be 2 people with nades and shit, and they're gonna be 3 people without any nades or with a pistol. I mean, they're 3-6, and AK is 2-7, and armor head armor is 1,000. That's 2,000, 3,007. So you actually can't afford. One guy can afford that and a flashbang. One guy can buy that and a smoke. It's not a lot of money. So they're like, okay, we get by. And, of course, Fnatic's probably going to force buy right now, because they realize this. They know that they're actually force buying almost on them, yes. So of course, force buying Fnatic as well. And I'm gonna assume that actually they almost have the same amount of weapons, and they almost do, because you see, Happy doesn't have a weapon. They have two smokes between all 5 of them. Just getting the extra frags is so important, it's so good. And Flusha right now with the scout, they run the 2 rifles as pistols on B, and he needs a scout, so he decides to go mid instead, and rather play a scout mid, so he thinks that he can do more, have a better impact there. And that's kind of showing how good they are, how they can adapt to whatever they're good at. Now, Envious does the same thing again. They push out mid, and Flusha just like stomps them. Apex is there by himself, gun versus scout, gets picked off, easy kill for Fnatic. Kenny runs that through the smoke, the op, misses the shot, gets tagged, and then through the smoke. Wow. So Flush is just playing this pretty passive. With that smoke, he can play more aggressive. He's just trying to get information again. They do have 2 entries right now. There's a 3rd one. They know they're an advantage. And once this happens, you can see what their teammate does in top left corner. I think that's number 2. That's probably this guy, JW. He pushed long. He hasn't heard any steps. He probably heard a guy step mid, maybe a guy tunnels, maybe know where they are. But there's no one long, at least. It means they're either top mid, or mid in general. Probably not short, because he hasn't heard short. So they're probably tunnels, so they know that. So it's probably just going to push out, and they know they're here. And they know they're tunnels. Especially right now when JW's there, they know they're tunnels. And there's 45 seconds left. So with 45 seconds left and you know they're tunnels, I mean, they could run through T-spawn, I guess, but they have to run, and they're not going to do that. It takes them 15-20 seconds to get around from tunnels to T-spawn, then out long, then out on site, and that's 30 seconds. Means they have 15 seconds to get frags and just get flashed or whatever, you know. So they're not going to do that. They can either go short from lower, or they can go B right now. So the moment Flusha sees this, he's probably going to rotate B. And he does. He just goes straight B, you know, because it's either B or lower to short, in which case he can just rotate and try to get a frag. JW is really close, gets a frag anyway, and they end up just killing everyone. They didn't even get one single trade frag. I mean, there's still 5 people left on Fnatic. And Flusha's like 2 frags mid there. The first one in Apex is crucial. It's so important. He runs that by himself. He gets fragged. It's an easy frag. There's no one to trade it for him. Absolutely no one else to trade that frag for him. So the fact that he can get a kill and just fall back is so important. So again, he just jumps across mid. He spots no one. And he's playing right now close to B, because he's let's just start in case they rush B. But once that doesn't happen, that's pretty much does. You know, he's gonna walk closer to CT spawn because it's simply a better position to play. And it's actually, I haven't actually seen this angle before. It's really neat. You can see through that gap in the floor. But he's not actually challenging mid right now. Most teams, and especially Envious is studying it right now twice, is they flashed out mid. But this is, there you go. I'm gonna have to take time to get used to this, you know. Like, I need to write down something on my keyboards. I have them right there on my second monitor, you know, but I have to do something smart there. Either way, they flashed out mid twice and pushed it through the flash and tried to get entry frag. The previous round when they killed Apex, and the round before that when they actually got 2 frags. So there's a chance to do it again. So there's no point challenging mid. They could just get flashed and picked off. So he plays pretty much a lot more passive now because he's thinking about that. He does hear that flash right now, so I'm sure he's worried that they pushed out and checked stuff and cleared stuff, maybe even moving up towards B slope. So I'm sure that's in the back of his head right now. He's thinking maybe they did that. But if they push up, like actually up into B slope, there's a pretty big chance they're going to smoke off CT spawn. So I think he's aware of that, unless they do something really stupid and really like I guess crazy and just run out B slope or walk out B slope with no smokes whatsoever. Because anyone who knows how risky it is, you know, one guy peeks somewhere and they're dead and their entire strat. Now they're all out on B right now, and here's what happens. He's not rotating now. He's expecting that mid player somewhere. He heard a flash, and only when they start dying on B, he starts to rotate. Now, it's a really hard situation to call, and that's actually a fantastic strat done by Envious. See, they know that flash they do mid. So he heard that flash, and expecting people to be mid, and then just all go B, and they get 2 frags without a trade, which, to be honest, is Crim's and Olafmeister's fault. nothing Flusha can do about that. They should have at least gotten 2 or 3 frags, at least spotted perhaps, called in numbers. They're against Nico or forced by. They didn't do that though, and I think Flusha did the perfect thing in that situation, because he actually doesn't know if there's someone mid. There's one guy there, you know, expecting that probably know Flusha's around there somewhere. Just kills him, you know, and that's all of a sudden, even if they got 2 frags on B, they kill the guy mid, you know, it's all of a sudden 3v2 anyway with the bomb down. So if I know Fnatic right, they're probably going to force buy anyway. They're going to buy no matter what. And they end up doing, I think they have money for everyone. Barely. So right now it seems like, I think there's a call for someone, but they've gone B like 4 or 5 times in a row. I think they're going to play more passive now on A. And you see all that execution long, and he's just backing up the Opera right now. Now here's... Oh, actually doesn't do what I expected him to do. I was expecting him to push shorter, actually. But, of course, with his teammate, you know, it just falls back. Now, I do feel like he should have fell back faster there to CT spawn and just accepted, you know, okay, they're out long. There's a lot of people on short. They kill my teammate on short and just run down into CT spawn and try to stay alive. Because he gets caught out of position there, you know. They drop down like 2 people. In typical NVS fashion, just crazy, no care at anything at all. It jumped down there and like on around him, 360 degrees, you know, no scopes. So you can't do anything about that. You just could have run faster, I think. But it's a hard situation to call. So, I don't know actually if Crims wins this round or not. I'm gonna skip past. He saves it. I haven't actually watched the entire game. I do remember parts of it though from watching it live. So, of course, I forgot to do that. He's going B again. They're full eco right now. And actually thinks Kenny S instantly. Twice. Now, there's 2 people here, and the fact he gets frags at all here when he uses P and no armor is, to be honest, very well played. He just peeks. He just it's nothing special he does. He just hits his shots, you know, very good, and they can kill him. I feel there's an easy frag for NVS. They just end up missing it. I don't like seeing a reason why they boost short here, but it seems to be a set strat, and he flashes mid for them actually flush, and he push up short. Now, I think it's easy to forget, like in matchmaking, that everything he does right here is with his team. So they pushed up short, you know, he's aware of that as a part of the strat. He throws that flash to flash lower and maybe mid, you know. He throws again here because he probably heard something lower, or he spotted nothing top mid. They're going to flash here to keep them more back lower, and you see right now in the game they're all both flashed actually. That does perfect. And again he throws a nade. Now what he doesn't do here is peek lower, which to be honest he probably could have done. But I think I was expecting his teammates just to pull something off there, which they didn't. They just got killed, not even trading their frags. So he does rotate to A right now, and in this situation, like, you don't know where they're going. It's either A or B. Yeah, I think it's just gambling right now. It probably feels like it's A. Also, if they go B, they're probably going to smoke CT, but it's more or less a gamble. They have, I think it's Crims there playing B. I don't know if he's spotting B or if he's spotting, he's actually both. So if he sees these smokes, he's going to call them. And I think they're just faking right now, but I feel like they're doing the right thing right now. Fnatic just sticking onto A. I would even have Crims also play with him here. And JW gets a frag there and long. And stays alive. I think that's pretty important. So, he gets called. There's 2 people long. It's only 2. It means there's 2 left somewhere. So, Flush is of course aware of that. So, he's really aware of short right now. And Kenny just did a Flusha and shot him through the box. Okay. Well, that was, to be honest, good play. Well played by Flusha. He's really awkward position there, and of course, Kenny S stole his hack, so we just killed him through the box. Oh. So now they're with pistols, and it seems like me that Fnatic, when they have pistols, they kind of just seem to do what they're comfortable with, you know. Like, Wolfmeister and Crimson B just kind of peeking randomly, trying. They're not really doing any set strats. It feels like, you know, Flusha with a deagle. I thought he saw those people in mid, but apparently not. No, but they're just doing whatever they feel like, more or less, and they're hoping that NVS will just mess up something, so they can get a frag or two. They did that, I think, the third round. They actually managed to have that happen. So, just pointing out what Flusha just did there, he goes long with Pronax and just helps him into pit. Because if they go out long, they want to be two people there so they can counter flash. And once there's nothing happening, they're probably not going to go long, like, explode it, delayed. Usually don't do that. They have, it's JW spotting mid with the op. So you should be comfortable actually pushing quite aggressive up on short here. And get maybe some intel and information or whatever, you know. Does he actually not have a skin on his M4? Really? Okay. Oh well. Maybe it's poor. So, I don't know, they're just doing a default right now. Nothing special to happen, just to say here. Once that flash goes out, they might just do some other stuff, like his nades. There's an AG grenade. And another smoke. Now, because... there we go. Yeah, I told you about this camera thing. I'm not good with letters, I guess. Now, the smoke short, it's pretty planned. He throws the smoke short to keep him back. And once the smoke fades, there's a chance they're going to push through instantly. So he throws a nade, might catch one or two people off and make them run slower. Then also his teammate smokes for him as well. So right now on the clock, there's 55 seconds left, just him smoke. So if they go short, it's probably going to be around 40 seconds left. So because of this, I think someone called something. So that's why we rotated CT spawn here. They probably called CT spawn or that they're rotated B. So it's really we're afraid of mid here again. Now this is also something that people seem to not quite catch. That he's actually doesn't care about B. You see, he waited for them to die B again before he rotated. Like, they're on B, they killed both of them. He could have, if they just started running the moment something happened, he could have gotten B and probably been there before they died, or even like in B right now, and probably killed Kenny S. Been at 3v1. But he just trusts his teammate, because they're 2 on B, to hold that, because he has to take mid. He's worried about mid, not B. They have B for him. He has that trust in his team, that's important, I guess. They're more or less just waiting for their teammate to come tunnels. And that's more or less perfect play by Fnatic. Now, JW dies there, but he gives the information to Pronax that he's not peeking tunnels and where he is. You can just a free frag. And then they have the information of the last guy as well, I think. They heard him, or they at least knew where he was. So they play that really perfectly, and Flusha just tries to stay alive there, and doesn't actually peek the guy, because if he peeks and gets killed there, and he gets outdoors, the T guy, that can be the round for Envious. So it seems like they're doing the same thing again with 2 boosted, and actually only 1 boosted short right now. So they're more or less doing the same thing as earlier, just flashing him out long, helping out, then he's going short? Maybe? Yeah. So JW just staying short right now with him. So Flusha seems like he's like a very standard support player. He just goes kind of where he's required to be. And it's played pretty consistent so far. And it does very standard stuff. Like, there's no really weird angles. It doesn't do anything crazy. I mean, he's just smoking short here, being safe, and just delaying them. Okay, so what I mentioned there in mid, where he didn't actually rotate that fast, now like there's just some steps in mid always, almost, and he actually rotates. Now the reason for this is, I think there's several reasons for it, but one, they're not out long yet, so he doesn't actually have to stay short in that regard. They're probably not going A yet, but also, having that mid control is really important. So they can push out mid and kill JW. That's pretty scary. But he can still just rotate A, just like he did now. So here's the flashes long. He's going to help his teammate instantly and get killed. So it's important that Pronox gets that trade, actually. And Happy trades him again. I think that's kind of lack of communication or just understanding of where Pronox is holding, what he's doing and not doing. Because he's pretty sure that they weren't that far out yet. And yeah, it's not really that much, I guess, to say about that concept. It's just simple miscommunication, and it sucks when it happens. So it's probably going to hear them go short. I actually didn't hear that. They start walking slow. So once the oldest nades start coming, he's afraid of two things right now. It's a fake to A, and then a run out mid, and that they drop down safety spawn. He's afraid of those two things, and he flashes mid, and kind of, okay, I just flashed mid, so I'm going to delay them, just slightly, just in position at least, and hold bit. Then he holds this drop down thing. Now, nothing more has happened until there, and now you realize they're actually out short. And he's quite out of position here right now, and he just gets killed. Now, it's a hard position to be in. What I feel he should have done there is like the moment he realizes they're short. Again, this is from the early round as well. Like he's I'm gonna keep doing that entire video, by the way, like switching between the videos and stuff. Same thing as earlier, you know, like I mentioned, he probably should have run faster down safety spawn. Again, it's like, okay, should I hold it or not? He's not quite sure. Because when you're in that position, you know, they can peek you like from 6 different angles, all across, you know, the plat above CT spawn, sight, you know. But he got killed from long, which is the point I actually didn't mention, which he probably didn't realize they were there. So they can be kind of everywhere and kill him. And I think it's safer to just realize, you know, when that one guy on short or A side dies, is that, okay, they got A. Let's just fall back. Let's let him have his sight, and let's retake it. But I don't think, like, they're playing A as a retake option. I think they're just playing as to hold it. So they're probably not good enough to actually retake it in a proper way. Now, of course, they're good enough, but probably hasn't practiced it well enough. So they actually really want to hold it. So you see the trend on Dust 2 for Flusha. I'm gonna just unpause it. It's more or less he always goes kind of where there's no one else running. And now you see Ape is just running out mid there with no smokes. It seems like in general NVS and especially Apex, he just likes running around doing whatever he wants. I mean, he got punished for it in mid, and in the MBK got punished in tunnels doing that in one of the rounds. So they do get punished for it. So they're like 4 spawn here with a scout. And I think the general now do just want to try to get some frags. So 3v5 right now. They know they're out of numbers. And he's just trying to figure out what they're doing. Apex again just walks out mid like that and gets a frag. But he can be pretty safe doing that. And the fact that Flusha, I didn't expect. I mean, it's hard to expect that. I mean, no one does that. But he just did it again. So you can maybe realize that. But again, now he's just going long, showing some presence, then running right away back short. It's probably going to be aggressive right now with the CZ. I just want to point out that once he turns around, no, turn around. Okay. Either way, what you probably maybe saw there, you can go back in the YouTube video if you want, but there's a guy top mid holding long. the enemies heard this stuff going on long, so they think there's a guy long. Then just runs around back up to short. It's not that they don't expect someone to be short, but they still expect someone to be long, and there's not. So they have more resources than enemies in that regard, that there's one guy holding an angle where there's no one. And that does give an advantage in any way you can have when you're pistols versus guns. So I haven't actually seen what everyone else is doing. But now Flush is playing the same position as earlier. Would be funny if Happy just shot through and killed him again now. He just hit him though. Twice actually. So he's not going to play that position again. I feel like this is pretty standard play though with Flushy. I mean, he just stays alive on sight, stays annoying, gets 2 good frags, very well played, and doing everything he can to stay alive, really. Good movement. He moves left and back and left and right there as much as possible, just to be annoying and not be able to be hit. If he goes back to his mid position here, you probably realize that Apex likes just running out like an idiot out of here and getting frags. He's gonna hold it again better, and again he does the same thing. I'm fairly certain he heard him now. So, and actually not Kenny S as well is peeking. So, I'm certain he heard them out there. So he knew they were there. I think he just delayed it, like, just as much as he felt was right, so he could just peek and, like, kind of catch them off guard and turn around and fall back. I didn't actually see if Apex ran back, but they might have heard that as well. Or the scoping from Kenny, so we just knew there's an opera there, and just running out there and killing the opera it's not that hard. So, general, simple, but good play. They're catching on to NVS's game, like, slowly but surely, and they do get 5 rounds. I mean, they were like 7-1. Is that? It's 7, isn't it? Yeah. They were 7-1, and they got 2 rounds, so it's 7-3, then it's 10-3. So if they had not won these last 2 rounds, if they only gotten 12-3 or even worse, like, you know, but 12-3 is still pretty hard, but 10-5 is actually an okay score, as Dion does too. So just these last 2 rounds, where Flusha, of course, killed 2 people on A site with the C-set, which is crucial, and the guy lower, 3 frags, won them the round, and a big chance that actually won them like this half in that regard, because you see right now in the money, if I switch back, it's entire seat is low in cash. They would have 4 spot the last round if they hadn't won the previous round, so there's a big chance that they would have lost 12-3, if not for that one frag in lower tunnels from Flusha. Then him being able to kill, I think it was MBK on site, and then staying alive and just killing Happy slowly. Just one of those not going their way, you know, and they're lost, and it's so important, those frags, and that's from 10-5 to 12-3, which is huge. It's a huge difference. I mean, it's almost half the rounds. Now, this map ends up going into a draw. I know I'm not going to go through the T-half. I'll do that some other day. It does end up going to a draw, so actually every single round that something big happened was very important. And Flusha is top fragging. I mean, he's 14 frags, so it shows that he played good. Now, there's not really any trends that he does that I can tell that, like, is for a particular with him. His playstyle is simple. There's nothing special he does. He does I could expect him to do those things a lot of rounds. What he does, and he always kind of just plays the positions as a supporting, just holding the passive defensive angles. Apex catches him off guard mid, I think 2 or 3 times. And at one round he punishes Apex for it, and Apex stops doing that entire thing, like the entire game, until the last few rounds. And that shows how powerful it is when the opponent does a particular thing, and you shut them down just once or twice. It's going to make them stop doing that for quite a lot of rounds. But NVS played good. They're really good players, and Flusha played good. He's a good player. So, depending on the response I get, I might do the T-half. I don't know if I want to or not. I'll see how things go. And the editing is going to be shit. Like, I'm sure you've seen. Editing is horrible. I mean, this is the first one to have these binds and stuff. Like, just set them up. So I'll just put this one. Learn to be a better gamer. Yeah, Timber. So they're shit. Basically, I agree on that. But I want to provide something that people can watch through and kind of help them understand why pros do certain things. And I can vary up what stuff I do, but do give me feedback. Do tell me what I do wrong, what I do good. You can tell me how handsome I am because I know I'm pretty good looking. And I really can't think of anything else right now. I'll just put this back on if I can get the right key. Yeah, learn to be better gamers. That's the essential of this. Learn to be a better gamer. So help me help you. To quote Dr. Cox and Scrubs. Now, thank you. Come again.